And we spoke to a reporter this morning who's been covering the rally. Bill Carter, so what is it going to be, a political event or a comedy show?
Well, I think it's going to be the eye of the beholder largely. I think Jon has steered clear of describing it too much, other than to say it's not going to be political. But I think nobody believes that, because everybody who's showing up is talking about it being something that'll stir them in some way or bring them together because they have the same feelings about the political discourse in the country. So I think the motivation of the attendees is certainly that they're going to see a political event, but I can't see Jon and Stephen doing any kind of show that isn't comedy and isn't funny. So I'm sure the entertainment value will be really high.
Well, you're right about some of that in terms of even starting with the invocation will be a bit comedic. Tell us about that.
Well, it looks like they're going to have Don Novello, who old-timers like me will remember as Father Guido Sarducci from the early days of Saturday Night Live.
Right.
And he's, of course, a fake priest. So to have a fake priest doing the invocation, I think, gives you the idea that it's actually satire that they're doing and not a real event like Glenn Beck did, which had a real religious theme to it.
Since you published, the article was published this morning online, obviously in the newspaper, have you been able to find out what other speakers, what other political type speakers may be on the agenda?
No, and that's been another of the tightly held facts. I mean, the list of people that came out did not come from the show itself. It came from the Park Service, who leaked what an early roster was. I'm sure they will have added people since then. But I think Jon has kept this very, very tightly under a cone of silence. I mean, I know a lot of people on his staff and maybe the executives at Comedy Central, and none of them have talked about this. I think partly Jon doesn't want to tag the thing in advance as something that can be attacked for being too partisan. And I think he's a comedian. He doesn't want to ruin the punchline, so he's not saying a lot.
Do you think this event is solely out of the reaction to the Glenn Beck rally from a month ago or so?
I don't know if it's solely out of that, but I do think it's connected to that. Jon, I don't know how facetious he was being, but during one of his shows in Washington this week, he told the audience before the show that he booked them all the day that Glenn Beck booked his rally. So I think there is definitely, obviously, look, rally to restore is the idea behind the Beck thing, and Jon is using the same thing. He's using to restore sanity. So I think he's definitely connecting it to that, but I don't think he wants to elevate Beck any more than he has been by saying, I'm doing this entire thing is in reaction to Glenn Beck. I think he has a real motive, which is to bring together people who aren't on the extremes and don't believe that, for example, if you disagree with me, therefore you are Hitler, which is one of the things he said. That's a sign that he thought would be appropriate for this event.
Bill Carter of the New York Times. You can read his article online at nytimes.com. Thanks for the update.
Okay, nice to be with you.
That rally